Hello and welcome to the second of our mobility sessions. If you're not warm, if you haven't done any exercise just now and your body and your muscles are a little bit cold, please take a few minutes just to warm yourself up, either by walking around the room, doing a bit of housework, jumping up and down, or by doing one of the warm-ups in one of my other exercise routines. Other than that, we're going to whiz through a number of mobility exercises for the whole of the body. You can stop the tape at any time, do more of a particular exercise if it works for you, or you can skip it if it doesn't. Are you ready to come with me? Okay, let's go. We're going to start standing. So I am going to use a band initially. You do not need to use a band at all. You can just stand, use your arms without. So if you do have a band, hold it relatively wide, and we're going to do 4 chest stretches. So get a bit of tension on the band, open up the arms, feel the stretch across the chest and grow tall, and back. Twice more after this, so we do 4 in total. So we're just opening up, squeezing the shoulder blades together and opening up through the chest. Excellent. Hold the band in the same place. If you haven't, just put your arms out in front in this position. We're going to mobilize the rotator cuffs of the shoulders. So bring the arms up and round the body. Now, if this doesn't work for you, you can do one arm at a time, or you can just not move in as great a range of motion. It doesn't work for everyone, this one. But if you can move both arms together, it's excellent for mobilizing the shoulders. We're going to do one more. If you haven't got a band, a towel works really well for this one. So, last one here. That's shoulders again. Now, we're going to bring the arms slightly closer together. Holding on here, so my arms are now about shoulder width apart. I'm just going to pull apart, so working the outside of my shoulders. So I'm going to pull apart and back. Now, if you don't have a band, you can put your fists either side on the inside of a door frame and just push against that and hold isometrically. One more. And back. Excellent. So that's our shoulders, and that's the band done. So I should get rid of that one. Right, we are going to do some roll downs. So we're moving from the shoulders down to the spine and the upper back. So I'm turning sideways on so you can see what I'm doing. So standard roll down, I drop the chin towards the chest. I'm pulling in my core, my ribs are high, and I'm just rolling down vertebra by vertebra, letting the hands rest where they can. And now pushing back up, push those feet down, lifting the ribs as I come back up and restacking those vertebrae one by one. This is a brilliant exercise for the whole of the body, hamstrings through to spine. Go again, so dropping the chin down, rolling down, keeping that core really engaged so that the spine is flexed. Pushing the feet down and pulling up through the glutes as we restack that spine. Now we're going to do 2 more. You can either do the same or we can add on with the arms loosely overhead. So adding a little bit more weight to the body. So now as I curl down, I'm really having to work that core. I'm reaching out long, lifting the ribs up, lifting the core. I'm touching down. Now when I come up, pushing the feet down, keeping that spine flexed as I use the hamstrings and now the glutes to pull me up as far as possible. And now I restack that spine. One more time. Here we go, coming down, rolling down. So allowing the weight of the arms and the shoulders to pull us forwards, controlling through the glutes and the core, down to the bottom point, and now bring up through the hamstrings, keeping that spine flexed for as long as possible. Hamstrings glutes, pulling us up with high ribs and stacking lower back, middle back, upper back. Excellent. Now coming back, we're going to work the hips. So just some standard hip openers. Hands on hips please, so you can feel whether we're moving about. Raise the knee up to hip height. Opening out, keeping the hips pointing to the front. Now keeping those hips level, down and up, down and up. Back to the front. One more time this side, so opening out that hip as far as we can go. Dropping that foot down, not quite touching the floor, using the hip flexors to bring it back up. Down and up and back to the front. So we'll do the other side now. Great if you're standing on a mat like me. Great for getting the ankles and the lower limbs to support you. So hips level, opening out to the side. Drop that leg down, keeping the body straight and upright. Pull up with the hip flexors. Drop down again, pull up with the hip flexors and to the front. Back around again. Opening up, drop down, pull up, drop down, pull up with those hip flexors, keeping the body tall. Back to the front and down. Nice one. If nothing else, that would have tested the balance. Okay, last one, standing. So feet are around hip width apart. We're going to do 4 squats, but we're going to do them slowly. So take the feet, engage the glutes. Imagine slightly rotating your feet outwards. They're not actually moving. Get the hips forward, get the core. So my glutes are engaged, my core's engaged, my hands are in a Cossack position with shoulders down. Now as I bend my knees, I fold at the hips. So coming down as my hips come down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold here, up for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going again. Keep the chest high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. Push into the heels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to do that one last time, so keeping the feet flat on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Well done. We're going down on the mat into a downward pike position. So the downward pike, feet and hands are hip width and shoulder width apart respectively. Hips are in the air, spine is neutral. So push those heels down towards the floor as we take opposite hands and try to touch opposite ankles. So one hand to ankle, other hand to ankle. Hand to ankle, keeping the hips high, engage the core, you'll feel it pulling in the hamstrings and the calves. Once more, either side. Great work from this position. We're going to move the legs slightly closer together so the feet are less than hip width. We're just going to paddle. 5 paddles. From here, we're going to bring a foot forward into Spider-Man and 5 pulses, opening up the hips. Coming back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the calves and 5 pulses for the hips. Last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. From here, we're going on to 4-point kneeling. So, my hands and knees are again hip width apart. My back is long. I'm looking slightly ahead. I'll get myself in the right position in a minute. What I'm going to do is extend a leg. So my right leg is extended. I'm going to cross it across. So I'm leaning across my left leg and I'm going to move my hands slightly out. I'm going to rock back, keeping a neutral spine, and just I'm feeling it in my outer hip. 4 pulses. So go again. I'm crossing the other leg over, and I'm rocking back, keeping the spine neutral. I'm feeling it in my outer hip here. Once more time, either side. So keep the body facing forwards, looking ahead. Don't twist that torso. Keep looking that way. Keeping the hips level as we go down. And 4. Fantastic. So that was outer thigh. What about inner thigh? So here we go. We're going to extend my leg so that my heel is opposite the knee, and we're going to pull back again. So this time I'm feeling a stretch on the inner thigh. I'm going to lean back and up, keeping my spine neutral and long. Back and up, last time. And then I'm going to thread the needle, so away from my extended leg, I'm reaching through, coming back. Reach as far as you can for 4 moves. 3 and 4. Now we're going to do the same thing the other side. So I'm extending my leg. I'm feeling the stretch in my inner thigh. My arms are a little bit forward as I rock back and come forward. So increasing the stretch on my inner thigh. Rock back and forward. Rock back and forward. So from here, keeping the leg extended, I reach across and back. So great for my upper back. And back. 2 more. Reach as far as you can go. Feel that thoracic spine moving. And the last one. Out. And back. Brilliant work. So reset back in the all fours position. We are going to flex our spine and work our glutes at the same time. So I'm going to take my knee to the opposite elbow. So my right knee going to my left elbow. And as I do so, I'm flexing my spine, coming back to normal. I'm flexing my spine again as I bring it to the elbow that's straight ahead of it. And now I extend my leg out the back, really extend it, and 3 pulses into the glutes. So 1, 2, 3, and down. So we go again. This time we go opposite and back, flex the spine, back, extend long, 3 pulses. 1, feet in the glutes, 2, 3. And we'll do that again both sides. So 1 opposite, 1 straight ahead, extend the leg, 3 pulses, get those glutes working, and down, flex, back, just neutral spine, flex, back to neutral spine, keep that neutral spine on extension, 1, 2, 3. Fantastic. So from here, we're just going to work the internal rotation of the hips. So we're going to drop down, just drop and drop. So just feel those legs and the inner thighs working as we do 2 more. Either side. Last ones. Excellent. So last one, oh, child's pose. So we're going into a wide-kneed child's pose. So we're sitting on our heels, my knees are wide. I'm going to stretch my hands out into child's pose. And as I'm stretching here, my back is flexed, my hips are wide, and I'm going to come through into extension, but keeping my knees on the ground. So flexion through to extension. 2 more. Flexion, feel it in the shoulders too maybe, using the core. Extend. So it's lengthening rather than arching. And last time. Here we go. And lengthen. Excellent. From the 4-point kneeling, we're going on to kneeling. So I am sitting on my heels. My knees are around hip width apart. I'm going to kneel up. So engage that core. Think of the body being in a straight line between knees, hips and shoulders, keeping that spine neutral. I'm going to rock back. If you've had knee problems, don't do this one, or else maybe support yourself on something at the back, maybe a chair if it's stable. It can pull a lot. It's for the quads, but it can pull on the knees. So keeping the core engaged, keeping straight, we're going to pulse 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. You should feel it in the front of the thighs. We're going to do that twice more. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Great, so that's the front of the thighs. Can we do the back of the thighs? So we're going to extend one leg out the front, the other leg's kneeling. Extending this leg, doesn't matter what the foot is doing, just coming low and feeling the stretch in the hamstring at the top of the back of the legs. Hands either side of that extended leg. Now from here my back's flexed. Can I now just straighten it and lengthen it away so that I feel the tug even more in the hamstring? And release. Engage that hamstring. And release as you flex the spine. 2 more. Stretching that hamstring, a little bit of tension and down, but not too much. Stretch again, opening up and down. We'll do the same the other side. Now swap legs, hands either side of the extended leg. Remember, it's all in the hamstring, which is the top back of this leg. So you're in control. The back is flexed. Gently extend and lengthen that spine and feel it pulling in the hamstrings. And down. Lengthen. You're controlling how much tension you're putting on that hamstring. More. And now, the last time. Extend, stretching the hamstrings, and down. So now back to kneeling. I'm going to put my hands just loosely either side of my knees, and I'm going to use this opportunity to once again just mobilize my spine. So I'm going to engage the core, shoulders back, drop the chin to the chest as I arch into a kind of cat position, and now come neutral. Really using that core to mobilize the spine in this forward and back plane. So stretching out, feel the stretch in the lower back too. Out Last one. So really stretching through, using that core to pull up and back. Now from this position, I'm going to take one arm behind my head, keeping that arm in position. Now my hips are fixed. I'm going to rotate and open out. So keeping that spine neutral, open out. 2 more this side. And rotate. And now we swap sides. So hand behind, elbow to elbow, and open. So see if we can get just a little bit more movement each time. Doesn't matter, we're not forcing the movement, we're just repeating, and each time the body might get just a little bit more mobile. Brilliant work. From here, we're going onto our backs. First thing we're doing is a bridge. And that bridge is a mobility bridge. So again, we're still working this spine, and then we're going to go into the hips as well. So I'm moving my heels up towards my body. I'm going to tilt my pelvis towards me. So I'm going to fill in the gap, tilt my pelvis, and just begin to peel it off the floor. So it's a pelvic roll or a pelvic peel. You have to use your core to really mobilize the spine. Keep that movement going. Each time we're getting just a little bit higher off the floor, dropping back down, vertebra by vertebra. 2 more of these rolls, 1 vertebra at a time as we stack back down. 1 more, rolling on up, rolling on down. Now this time we're coming up, we're going to stay in the up position. And now let's just check our bridge position. Are we resting between the shoulder blades, knees, hips, shoulders in a straight line without being overly arched? Okay, hands can be wherever you want them. Just cross them lightly over the shoulders if you feel inclined. And now we're going to do alternate hip pulses. So right hip to the ceiling, left hip to the ceiling. Feel the hip flexors stretching. Feel the lower back moving too. Keep pulsing right and left. 2 more lots. Right and left and right and left. Wonderful. Back to neutral spine, and now we're going to roll back down, vertebra by vertebra. Great work. So we're moving on to focusing a little bit more on these hips. So the first one we're doing is crossing an ankle over a knee and just pulsing that knee towards me. 8 pulses. That's all, just mobilizing into the inner and outer hip. From here, bring the supporting leg towards me and just 1 pulse. Squeeze, back, 2 more, squeeze, back, and squeeze, and back. So working into that outer hip. From here, keep that same leg and just cross it entirely over. We're going to bring the knees up to our chest and bring our chin up to meet them. So hug those knees towards the chin. Hug, hug, last time. Now hold here. Now whatever direction your front foot is in, roll the body towards that slightly and you'll feel an extra stretch in your glutes, especially the piriformis. And go again, roll towards that front foot, or roll in the direction the front foot is, and last time. Now from here, just curl back down, release any tension in the neck. The leg now goes halfway between the ankle and the knee, so we're now on the calf, and we're going to drop the knees down. So now I'm pinning my upper leg down with my lower leg, and I'm feeling the stretch through my outer hip, either side of my hip bone, and maybe a little bit down the outer thigh as well. So pulse and hold, pulse and hold. Make sure you're not arching your back. Pulse and hold, and pulse and hold. There we go. And we're now going to do exactly that same routine, this time with the other leg. So my left leg is now crossing over the ankle, over my right knee, and 8 pulses. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So feeling it in the outer thigh, we're going to work through a bit more outer hip now. So hug towards and down, feeling it in the outer hips. 2, and 3, last one, and 4. Now the supporting leg goes down, fully cross one leg over the other, and bring both legs up towards the chin. So coming up, so hug, 2, feel a slight stretch now, 3, 4. Now from here, we're rolling towards, or in the direction of the front foot, so I'm just rolling over to my right, and I'm feeling even more of a stretch in my glutes, in my piriformis. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And now, dropping back down. Great work. So from here, we're just crossing at the calf, and I'm going to drop down, so my top leg is again being pinned down by my lower leg. So holding here and feeling it in the outer thigh and outer hip. So down, hold, release, down, hold, release, down, release, and last time, down, hold it there, feel the stretch, and release. Great, now we're going onto our fronts for the last couple of exercises. So from here, laying on our fronts, I'm going to put my hands just forward of my shoulders. I'm going to squeeze my inner thighs together and my glutes, lightly pushing into my hands and just extending slightly upwards. So my rib cage, the bottom of my rib cage is still on the mat. So I'm working my middle and upper back here. Now from this position, this upwards position, keeping the shoulders back, extend the crown of the head and the soles of the feet away from each other as you really lengthen that spine. Now back and down. Now we're going to do that movement twice more. So we're coming up and we're lengthening away. Down and down. Last time, coming up and lengthen. So really lengthening the head away from the feet. So I'm extending and lengthening that spine. 2, 1, and down we go. Now the last one of my favourites, is the scorpion. So just rest the head on the hands, keeping the hips on the floor at the moment. Lift the right leg straight, roll the hips to the left, and now tap down that foot on the floor, really feeling the stretch in the hip flexors. Roll back and down. Other side. So left leg comes up straight, roll the hips to the right, tap as far away as you can from the body, and roll back down. We're going to do that once more either side. So right leg up, rolling and tapping, rolling the hips back down to the mat, and this time up, roll back down. Make sure you don't arch the lower back when you do this. Rolling back and down. Fantastic. So from here, we're all done. We're going to bring our feet in, tuck our toes under, and we're going to roll ourselves slowly up to a standing position. moves. So wherever you are, just relax the muscles, just a little bit of shimmy backwards and forwards, let those hips go. So just let everything relax. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Brilliant. Well, that was a very quick mobility routine. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the mobility routine. It was great fun to do, like all the videos are. And I really hope that you're getting some enjoyment out of them, or they're making life just a little bit easier and giving you a little bit of fun. If you think of anything else you'd like to do, any other subjects you'd like me to cover, just drop me a line and I'll do my best to put them into a video. I look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, keep well, keep safe, and take care. Bye-bye.